All right, and I believe we are ready to jump on over to Bugsnax by Conception 2. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
I think you are all ready to go whenever.
I am ready. Let's do this. All right, so welcome to Bugsnax. My name is Conception 2. We're going to be doing a very cool run, which is no major skips. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the any percent run, which is very short. We blast through that run pretty fast. We're going to do the no major skips run, so we're going to get started right away here. Let's see, any preference in color between orange, yellow, green, or black nude? Your choice.
Orange.
Orange, let's do it. All right. Great, and that is going to be the color of our Grumpus here. So we're going to dive in. Time doesn't start when we click a new into new game. It starts upon the load. So I'll just kind of time it out as best as I can for you here. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck, good luck.
Thank you so much. All right, yes, so this is Bugsnax. If you're unfamiliar with the game, Bugsnax are bugs and snacks. So they're bugs that look like food. Very fun stuff. We're going to be catching a good number of them and having a good time as well. We play Grumpus, which is kind of like a humanoid animal of sorts with, you know, vaguely round shape. And we are of the journalist variety. We're coming to this island to see what's going on and talk to the inhabitants of it to see what's up with these Bugsnax and how they're living and all that. The no major skips category, you can also call it a no loading zones early kind of run, which is really what it's called. So we do a skip there, which is a cutscene skip. So that is permitted in the category, but basically we cannot enter any loading zone early. So we're gonna have to do pretty much everything we can to get into every area the way the game more or less intends for us to do. Oops. Sometimes, so I went to catch that Strabby. Sometimes when you're using the trap, the haptic trigger gets a little bit caught up. Oops, I should have waited a second. That was my fault. So we just gotta wait a second for the Strabby to pop back out. Let him walk a little, let him walk, and then throw the trap down again. Come on. There we go. Need to catch a few Strabbies to satisfy Filbo's hunger here. Wait for that Strabby to walk by a little bit. Throw the trap down. And then let's do a jump for our life. That might not catch. Nope. So the Roodle is really tough here, especially as soon as the Roodle is buried in the ground, you're not able to catch it anymore. So it gets really tough. If you're really quick and you get it in one cycle, you can actually get it while you're in midair jumping there. But because that second Strabby gave us a little bit of a difficulty, we had to wait for it to pop back up out of the ground. But no worries. We are going to be good to go. All right, so Filbo's running. We don't want to run too far ahead of Filbo here because Filbo will get caught at the corners there and just kind of wait for us until he doesn't really know what else to do. So we're very particular with how fast we move there. But now Filbo gets us into our next area of the game, Garden Grove. Now, fun fact about Garden Grove, one, we're going to meet our good friend Wambus the farmer here, who farms sauce out of the ground. You know, as one does. But fun fact is that even in the any percent run, you cannot get out of Garden Grove early, like as in you cannot trigger the next area early. So even in the any percent run, which the world record for is just under 17 minutes on console, which is what I'm playing on. I'm playing on PS5.
There's a pen set up nearby.
We still have to do this area as intended, and I say that in quotes because we still do some things extra fast. But we're going to do quite a few things here. First, we're going to get some ketchup. We're going to throw one over here for that bunger. Grab a few more ketchups. Throw one into the tree and one on the shishka bug. All right, so now we take care of that quest. So while Wambus is walking down, we're going to throw a ketchup here. Get that shishka bug. Oh, you know what happened? It actually, instead of throwing a ketchup into the wall there, it actually it threw it onto the ceiling. But that's fine. You just grab another one right right away. Grab that Frieder. Grab Bunger. My personal favorite, by the way. I don't know what your all's personal favorite bug snack is. And then we're gonna grab the last shish kebab here. And there we go. So if you're keeping track, that all went really fast. We got a Frieder, 2 shish kebabs, and a Bunger, which is perfect for completing all of Wambus's quests here. He wants a Frieder first, then a shish kebab, and then last but not least a Bunger. So the Bunger is what's interesting. The game intends for you to do the quests in order and then get the net from Wambus that we just got and then catch a Bunger, but you don't really need to do that. When I shot one of the ketchups into the tree, it attracted the Bungers over there, and basically what keeps happening is that the Bungers will repeatedly run into each other and stun each other. And when they are stunned, you can catch them with the net, of course, but you can also just catch them with your trap. You don't need to use the net. So we're able to just ignore having to get the net early and then catch everything we need in advance and then just kind of talk to Wambus all at once. This is Beffica. We're gonna see her again in a second after this, but she does take us through the tutorial of how to use our journal in a menu and stuff, which unfortunately we can't skip, so we do have to just mash through all of this. One more page. And we're now into Snacksburg, which is kind of like the centralized hub area of this island. It branches, it's kind of like the main town where everybody would be living in their little houses, as you can see. Right now there's only Filbo and Wambus. Everyone has kind of separated from Snacksburg into their own areas, as they all kind of got into a fight after their leader, for lack of a better term, Lisbert, kind of disappeared, and then everyone just kind of fell apart from there. And what it's going to be, our quest is to get everybody reunited back in Snacksburg, and find Lisbert, who has disappeared, like I mentioned. So that's going to be kind of the whole point of the game.
One day
We are journalists, so we do have interviews with each of the Grumpuses because we still want to, you know, figure out what's going on this island. So that's exactly what we're doing. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. There we go. That's exactly what we're doing with our friend Filbo there. Now we're gonna run back to our friend Beffica, who we just met, and we're gonna do her quest so that she gets to come back to Snacksburg as well. And we get to do some swifty movement here if things go right. So we're gonna talk to her to start the quest. Take a picture of that sweetie fly as it's flying away, and then we're gonna do some treetop parkour. Take a picture of the Strabby. Run over here to this hot dog. Gonna get caught in my trap. Treetop parkour all the way back. Ah, silky smooth. There we go. All right, and then the reason why we caught the weenie worm there, the hot dog bug snack, is because Beffica asked us to catch what her favorite bug snack would be. So we just go and catch it real quick, and then feed it to her. Now her leg is a hot dog, as one becomes when you eat a hot dog. And then the last task that we need to do is she has heard that Wambus does something in his sleep, and she wants to figure out what it is. So we go into her bed and sleep until midnight, so that Wambus will then come over here and talk to this cactus. I know, so embarrassing. And then we'll run back and tell Beffica what we saw, and then she will decide to come back to Snacksburg. So that's another one down. All right.
Plus, see your.
There we go. So that's another one back to town. Another one bites the dust. Hope you guys like what I'm wearing, by the way. I decided to get extra cozy for this CozyThon, so I got my nice beanie, I got my robe. I thought we'd just get comfortable and enjoy Snacksburg for what it is, you know?
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's just soft and like this robe is really soft. I hope you all are as cozy as I am. Basically, we are heading into Simmering Springs, which is kind of like a beach area. And we're going to be trying to get some more Grumpuses to return back here. This is Floofty. Floofty, we're gonna see now, but we're not gonna see again for quite a bit in the run. Floofty is actually one of the last Grumpuses we're gonna get to return. We're gonna grab some chocolate, another sauce that you can get from the ground, and then we're gonna have a little bit of an extended cutscene here. So I hope you like singing, but what goes on here. This is Gramble on the right and then Wiggle on the left. Wiggle, as you can see, doesn't stop moving, also loves singing. And then Gramble on the right is somebody who loves Bugsnax as like friends, so does not eat Bugsnax. Kind of like a caretaker for Bugsnax. So we're going to be helping out Gramble with a few quests in order to get Gramble to return. We're also going to do a few quests for Wiggle, but we're going to have to come back and finish Wiggle. In these areas, the game loves to give us at least one character that has requirements that cannot be solved in that individual area. So for example, Wiggle's gonna want Pop Ticks, which are popcorn Bugsnax, but they're not in this area, they're in a different area. So we're gonna have to go and grab them later on. But Grambles we can do all in here, so that's good.
See that, Strabby?
This is also going to give us a new tool, which is the Buggy Ball, which is a Strabby inside a ball that rolls around, which we're going to use for quite a few things in the run. And we're going to use it starting right away. So the game intends for you to go on this long like obstacle course with Strabby, but you can actually just put the cursor at the very end of it, and then Strabby will just do it on its own. The Buggy Ball, rather, will just do it on its own. Oops. I'm going to have to grab some extra chocolate. I have to redo this, unfortunately. Hopefully they come back out. So I'm gonna throw this trap here because that's gonna be for later. Great. So we need this grape skeeto. Grape skeetos are able to be caught by there we go, we're still fine. Grape skeetos are able to be caught by basically sucking the blood or, you know, life out of a Bugsnax. And they're also attracted to chocolate, which is why I shot the thing with chocolate first. And we needed to crouch grape skeeto and then a pinantula. And that is because Wiggle here wants both of those. First, she wants the pinantula, so we do the pinantula first. Oops. All right, and then now the Buggy Ball is rolling into this, you know, log for us. And then we're going to also cover our Buggy Ball in chocolate because Kweebles also love chocolate, and we need to get 2 Kweebles up for you know, just following us, not caught in a trap, for a quest for Gramble. So we're going to try to do this very carefully. Oops. Hopefully carefully. Come on. All right, come up the ramp. Come up the ramp. All right, we're good. We're good. It's very difficult to do. They can get really caught up, and there's a lot of RNG based on the things that are around us. But once they're up the ramp, we're golden. Doesn't really matter at that point.
Anyway, please.
All right, so we turn in that quest, and while Gramble is walking, because it doesn't waste any time, we're actually gonna sleep until noon. Oops, I shouldn't have ran, because now that Kweeble is stuck in the bush. Once it comes out, it'll walk right back into this area. But the next quest is to turn in the 2 Kweebles, and because I ran, it ran into the bush. Come on. There we go. All right, there we go. So Gramble is now returning to Snacksburg. Very good, very good. And so, the game, whenever a certain amount of Grumpuses return back to Snacksburg, Filbo gets excited and Filbo wants to throw a party. So we're gonna have 4 different parties in this game, and they're all somewhat slow. Oops. They're very cutscene heavy. This first party is by far the shortest, which is great. We just do some interacting with our party guests here. You just have to kind of check in and make sure everyone's doing good. And then Filbo checks in as well.
Isn't this cool?
And then it's a cutscene for just a few minutes here where I'm gonna grab some extra sauce that'll be useful for us for later on. And then yeah, it's just a cutscene. So if we have any like donations to read or any plugs we want to do, now's a great time for it.
With you,
Oh, we certainly do.
All right.
We had $20 come in from Aged Will, who says pet goodest to boys, and that went to completing Pet Every Dog incentive for Calico. So that's been met.
Nice.
We also had $50 come in from Save the Dragons.
Your fault we're in
It
this
says,
mess.
best of luck to
If you
CozyThon
let us
staff
keep
and
your
runners.
precious
Thank you for
livestock,
hosting
we
today's
could've kept
event.
together.
Dono goes to the N% Spyro run,
Livestock.
which is now leading
My little
$50
ones right
over $30 to the
lied
80
and stole them
Dragons
away 'cause you can't grow food for
category.
yourself.
So
You
thank
think
you
these
so
walking
so
vegetables
much.
are your family?
Very generous. Yeah, we have a lot of exciting bid wars and stuff going on, which I mean, the schedule is obviously just stacked. So I'm excited to see the rest of the runs for sure. So yeah, keep donating. You know, especially if you want to see something in particular. Obviously, to a great cause. So get those donations in.
Don't act like you're in charge.
The good thing about these long cutscenes, by the way, is that they do give us some stuff to do. Like I like to just try and stack these cups on the fire. You know, at least that's fun, and we get some motion and get to do some stuff while the cutscene finishes. So.
Triffany back so bad? Go find her yourself.
All right. Luckily, the cutscene is basically over. For some reason, we're eating a strawberry here, and for some reason, we get full control, which doesn't mean anything. I just like to run around while that happens.
Hey, all right.
But that is the first party over, and like I said, by far that is the shortest party. The next party we're gonna have plenty of time to chat and have some fun with donations and stuff like that, so be sure to get those in. This next area, which is called Scorch Gorge, has the most like chance or RNG to it, I would say. So we're gonna be very particular. First, we're gonna throw this trap down. This Scorpeno hates traps. It's gonna light it on fire, which is actually great because we need those two pop ticks to light on fire. Obviously we can only they can't catch them in seed form. They have to be fully popped popcorn, so we have to just kind of wait here a second. And what we're trying to do is get the Spuddy to run into this doorway and break it open. There we go, just like that. And then now we have those two pop ticks. They're fully popped popcorn. We're gonna come back to them though. We're gonna run over here and we can actually cheese this a little bit, and I say that purposely. Oop, never mind, we're gonna have to get it on this side. We can cheese it by throwing a trap up on the cactus here to get this cheap poof. The game intends for you to use like a launching mechanism instead, which we're about to get. So we're gonna grab that cheap poof because it's gonna be important for a quest. So we're then gonna just throw our trap in midair to get this cheap poof, which is also again not how the game intends you to get it. Well, that threw me off. Okay, good. All right. At least it didn't. There we go. Spuddy's really trying me. All right. Luckily, so what can happen, we need that ribblepede and it's just sitting there on the wall. Again, we do a little bit out of what is intended. You're meant to like try to knock it off the wall or attract it off the wall with some sauce or something, but I just kind of throw a trap on top of that plant.
Hello, name, friend.
But that Spuddy was just charging into me, giving me a hard time.
Feast, you're in.
And now we have our lunch pad, by the way. Oops. So let me throw this here. All right, so oops, did I? Yeah, geez, of course I did. All right, 1 second here. All right, so let's throw it on here. There we go. That's what we're meant to do. And then we just have to free up these 3 windmills with rocks. And then we're gonna talk to Cromdo here. That's the first quest done for him. And then he is particular. He wants a few different Bugsnax here. So he wants this sweet frieder. So we're gonna grab that. Then we're gonna run over to this Spuddy, hopefully who will just run into this door for us. Of course he's not going to. He's gonna run at the corner of the wall instead. There we go. And then we're gonna run in here. There we go. And we need to catch that shy weenie worm, and of course it was being extra shy, you know, as it wants to do. All right, and then we need one more cheap poof, and this one we actually have to throw a trap for, so. Voila, we caught a lot of Bugsnax in a short amount of time there. All right, so now we're gonna turn in a couple of different quests for Cromdo, but just like Wiggle in the last area, he's gonna have a requirement that we can't satisfy here. So we're just going to satisfy all the requirements that we can. And then now he needs some big bopsicles. So we're gonna have to come back to Cromdo. But here's Triffany. Triffany wants 3 ribblepedes, so we already have 1. Oops, I missed. And then we're gonna throw a rock at the second one. So it comes down so we can grab it.
I'm Try not to.
We're gonna talk to her for one time because she has a long like pause for some reason in between the first time you talk to her and the second time. So we're gonna launch our trap there. There's actually Ribblepeat on the ceiling. I didn't really look up at it too much, but there was. You're just gonna have to trust me. And then we feed her 3 Ribblepeats, which is what she's looking for.
Isn't that nifty?
Voila.
Ooh.
Then
So well.
she's gonna ask about all of these. Oops, not that yet. All these caves that she wants open. So she's gonna run over to one of the caves that we opened up. While she's running over, I'm going to attempt to get one of the pop ticks really quick. That was really close. The reason why you have to really grab that trap fast is because that Scorpion earlier that lit my trap on fire will do it again, even when there's a Bugsnax in there. So if I don't grab that trap really fast, it's gonna light the trap on fire and then I can't grab it, which we definitely don't want. Great, but we got him pretty quick. Yeah, the reason why I like to do them there is because Triffany has to run anyway to you know, to where she needs to go before you're able to talk to her.
Did you find?
So it's not like it's you know, wasting a lot of time to run in between.
You gotta. I suppose.
But there she is. And instead of walking all the way back to the entrance, we can actually just restart the save after the checkpoint clears. And then walk backwards right away to get back into Snacksburg. So not too shabby. We're gonna then, now that we have our pop ticks, obviously, we're gonna go see our friend Wiggle back in Simmering Springs rather. Give her pop ticks so that she comes back to Snacksburg as well. And we're gonna do some nice parkour movement to get here. We're gonna scale some rocks. There we go. Oops. There we go. Voila. Now she's got her pop ticks, and then she will come back to Snacksburg now too. And then same thing. We're gonna wait for the checkpoint, and then reload the save so we can just walk backwards. And how that works, by the way, is that basically the door that you entered the area from, if you reload the save, you will go back to that doorway. So that just saves us a little bit of time. We're not going to be able to use it everywhere because sometimes we're not going to enter the door that we want to flashback to. But, you know, sometimes we can.
Snacksburg seems like.
Okay, so now we're in party number 2. Party number 2 is very boring. Unfortunately, there's not a lot for us to do besides run to point A and then come back, and then run to point B and then come back. And it is a very extended cutscene. It's about 7 minutes, so it's quite a bit of time with some running in between. So I don't know, how are we looking on donations? How are we looking on bid wars? What do we got, Newt?
Keeps me up at night.
Oh, we've had a couple donations come in.
Oh, please.
We had $10 from Young Thun Fish, who says, looking cozy on conception side, and as always, remember, Pobody's nerfed. Put this towards the Undertale file name Cozy, because this is CozyThon after all, less than 3.
You know.
Oh yeah, you guys will know what Pobody's nerfed means once we get to the end of this run. Don't worry. Thank you, Young.
Do we have time for another one?
Oh, we have so much time. Please.
Whatever for?
Wish me luck on this one.
Okay.
We have $5 from Ness, who says, kinda bug, kinda snack, try to catch him in your trap. Feed somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find them hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Sharktooth Island and discover it's Bugsnax. Oh whoa, it's Bugsnax. Oh whoa, talking about Bugsnax.
Beautiful. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. That is the wonderful theme song to this amazing game. By the way, if you haven't played this game casually, please do. It's really, really good. Lot of really cool themes, a lot of really cool character development. You know, we get to see representation we don't always get to see. You also might have just seen a little thing run over here. That's fine, don't worry about it.
Over by the mill.
The first thing we get to do is, since the fire went out, obviously we're gonna grab a log and then just run right back to the fire. Very complicated stuff, you know.
Where were we? Triffany, you were saying
But
something
yeah,
about,
and then it's just cutscene again. So yeah, if we got anything else, great. Or we can just, you know, we can just chat. We can just have a good time.
The disappearing stiffs may be. That's just a story I read on a wall.
As you can see, we got these little poking sticks here, which is what I usually play with while I'm waiting for this cutscene to finish. You can light them on fire. You can pick them up. You can just, you know, point them at people. You know, it's fun. It's good stuff. it's cozy by the fire, you know.
Chewed up skeletons around the island.
Did anyone bring the s'mores ingredients?
Out there, and it
Who's got the marshmallows? You know, who's got the chocolate? Anybody?
Ooh. Life hack right here. Instead of using just like a chocolate bar, use like a peanut butter cup.
Ooh, very good.
Peanut butter cup in there. Oh, it's delicious.
One time I tried a Hershey's cookies and cream bar instead of a regular chocolate bar, and it was real good. It was real good. So I suggest doing that as well.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, get your s'mores. I wish there was more I could say about this point. It's the longest, it's the most boring of the 4 parties by far. I won't say it's the longest because there are other parties that are somewhat more long, but there's more for us to do in them. But this is like by far the one that we have the least activity for. I can't even move from the spot. You just have to stay here and wait until like the game prompts me to go do something. And that is purposeful because it's what is happening right now is they're telling like ghost stories or like creepy stories. So it wants us to, you know, be in suspense and be scared of the things that are around us. So it doesn't want us to go exploring too much. For example, Filbo was supposed to run to the bathroom. We were going to check on Filbo, but something is grumbling in there that is not Filbo, but we don't really get to see what it is. Mysterious. But at least I have my stick to keep us safe.
Sorry about that.
But we're getting there. We got another like 3 or so minutes in this cutscene, where we'll get to meet somebody else here soon.
Calm yourself, for I know what lurks in the shadows.
I will say for just a moment, for those that are just joining us, you're watching CozyThon. We're raising money in support of Lead. To donate, go to !donate in chat and follow the link. You can also apply your donation to various bid wars and incentives. If you'd like to apply your donation to an open-ended bid war, such as the Super Monkey Ball 2 file name and the Undertale character name, be sure to note your choice in your donation comment. And currently the Undertale character name has 1 donation towards it for the file name Cozy. So get your donations in for that. And for those that aren't aware, LEAD is a substance use prevention organization that believes young people are capable of making good decisions. The core reason LEAD exists is to significantly reduce drinking, drug use, and other risky behavior by youth while working simultaneously to eliminate the root causes of these issues in the future. To learn more, go to www.golead.co.
Yeah, what a great cause. Wow. It's really good to hear about everything that our money is going to be working towards. So yeah, continue to get those donations in. And like Newt said here, we got a lot of incentives, bid wars, things that we want unlocked. So, you know, use that good cause money towards something fun as well. Might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or 2 Bugsnax with 1 stone, if you will. I'm using my camera to zoom right in there because, as you can see, wood just appears. Just like to highlight that. All right, and we're gonna get to move here in a second. I know, very exciting, and the cutscene will be almost over after that too. We're actually going to get to meet a new Grumpus here, but we can't really. We're going to interact with him more afterwards. This Grumpus coming up is Chandlo, and Chandlo is a fan favorite. And I think you'll see why here soon.
We'll go check it out.
If something goes wrong, sacrifice Filbo first.
We get to move. Here we go. And we get to do some very basic like parkour movement, which is just to hop, or fail to hop across a gap here. There we go. And this is Chandlo.
Doing better. I know. Then me. Anyway, don't you?
He's very strong. He's very buff, but he's also very kind and stuff like that. You know, breaks the stereotype, which we love to see. But we're gonna see more of Chandlo here in a second. But right now, we're gonna just run back to the fire and finish up the cutscene. And I want to grab this stick while we're waiting.
Don't worry, folks.
Only a few more, like 30 more seconds in this cutscene or so. A little less, maybe.
and the noise was just Chandler.
And then we get some more action. The next area that we're going to be entering, by the way, is like a forest area. It's called Sugar Pine Woods. And we're actually going to get a 2-for-1 special in there in terms of the grumpuses that we can save. But it's also one of my favorite areas in terms of execution for what we do in the area. So it's one of whenever I get to the end of the run, I'm always pretty excited because it's pretty fun. We get to use some tools in a very unique way.
Real fascinating system they had. Every year, the ladies would go hunting, and the one to bring home the biggest Bugsnax was the new head honcho.
All right, here we go.
How you doing?
Into Sugar Pine Woods, where we're gonna meet Chandler, like that we just met, and Snorpy, who is actually his boyfriend. All right, so right away, we're gonna do some unique stuff. We're gonna throw down our lunch pad here. We're gonna aim it at one of those honeybees, and as the Kooky comes by, we're gonna have them run into each other, so we can grab a 2-for-1 special, and then grab another honeybee like that, because we need all of those Bugsnax. Then we're gonna scale some rocks here. Oops, almost. There we go. Grab that snail. Oops, grab that snail. Do some. If I can get up on the rock here. Here we go. Do some parkour movement. Grab another snail right here. All Bugsnax we're gonna need to solve some quests, but it's very interesting. I love that first move. So basically, what you're meant to do with the Kooky is we're actually gonna get a tripwire tool here in a second. What you're meant to do is you're just meant to have a tripwire go across its path so it gets stuck. But we catch it in a very creative way, which is launching it into a honeybee, which is sticky, and they stick together so that you can catch a 2-for-1 special there, which is very fun. And then the other 2 honeybees also collide into each other, and then we can catch just one more of them because we don't need both. We only need 2 out of the 3.
I propose a test.
We also get a new tool here, different from the tripwire that I mentioned. This is the Snack Grappler, which we're going to use quite a bit in the run. And we're going to use it right away as well. So we're going to grab the Snack Grappler. One of the first quests we have to do for Chandler is get his basketballs back. So we're going to grab a basketball before we jump down here, so we could throw it in the basket here. No, get in there. There we go. And then there's one up here. We're going to grab that. While we're waiting, I'm going to grab this down. And then there's a third basketball here. Okay, basketballs, please. Ah! Get in there. What are you doing? No. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I've never had this happen before. Please. Fun fact, I'm this good at basketball in real life. Alright. Grab that last snail. Oops, not feed yet. Here we go. Talk to Chandler. Oh man, I got really nervous there for a second because I thought that basketball was going off the cliff, so I almost freaked out. I'd have to go run and get another basketball like super far away, but we're okay. We saved it, quote unquote. Chandler's gonna return back. We're gonna take a shortcut back here to get that tripwire that I'm telling you. For some reason, the game is very finicky onto grabbing it, and yesterday when I was doing a practice run, I got the claw around it, but it would not retract back in. Just a fun fact for you. Oops, we got to feed some snails. And then now he's gonna want the honeybees that we caught.
You got it.
And then we're about to use that Kooky that we caught all the way back at the beginning as well. Now that one's gonna be used for Snorpy.
Anyway, I am here.
Snorpy likes to give hugs as well, which is also very nice.
Now, and splendid. Once you have it. Why, my...
You have to make sure, very careful here, that that you put the Kooky on his teeth, because that's specifically what he asked for. All right, there we go. So now we sleep there because Snorpy wants some charm owls, which can only be caught at night. So we're gonna throw that tripwire there, throw some chocolate on this, run back, and now that that has been tripped, we can grab it with our Snack Grappler. We're gonna do the same thing here. Nope, give me that. The reason why that worked out, oops, no, I'm getting jammed up. There we go. The reason why that worked out is because the Charmallow is made of fire, the Bopsicle is made of ice. So, you know, they contradict each other, cause each other to break apart, which is great because we need the Bopsicles for our friend Cromdo back in the gorge, as well as the Charmallows for our friend Snorpy here. So, really a 4-for-1 special if you think about it. Speaking of s'mores.
Just you've been in. What?
Everyone, these two love hugging, which is I think part of the reason why they're fan favorites. They're just so great.
Wait.
All right. For PS5, it's a little bit debatable as to whether or not it's faster to run back or to reload the checkpoint to go back. It's like very, very close. I just kind of do whatever I feel like at the moment. Doesn't really particularly matter. We are going to now run back into Scorch Gorge and finish up our friend Cromdo. But you can see here that it's actually dark. It's pretty late/early, depending on how you want to look at it. And that actually matters for us. And the reason why it matters is after we get Cromdo, Filbo's gonna be ready for party number 3. However, Filbo will be asleep, and if he's asleep, we're gonna have to go into his house and wake him up, which that whole process takes quite a bit of time, which we don't want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sleep in Cromdo's bed until noon. Oops, where is he? There we go. And then feed him his Bopsicles. And that way, you know, when we can just reload the save here to get back to the intro. And then when we get back, Filbo will be awake and we just have to walk up to him, as opposed to, for some reason, when one of the Grumpuses is asleep and you wake them up, there's a long animation of them climbing out of bed slowly, which, you know, just takes up time.
You're doing it. In fact.
But here we are, party number 3. You might have noticed as well that Triffany and Wambus were like standing very close to each other there, and that is because if I had walked into them, I actually would have triggered a cutscene. And I purposely didn't want to trigger it now. I want to trigger it later because we're gonna come right from Scorch Gorge and wanted to talk to Wambus. If we had already done that cutscene, Wambus would be chilling over here in his farm, which is a lot farther walk than from right in front of us. So we do that very purposefully, so that Wambus is just right next to us when we get there. You'll see after this party is over that we will also walk around them again, and to be careful not to trigger the cutscene. So for this third party, and I say party because it's more of like a mystery, it's not really so much of a party. What we're meant to do is they're talking about, and what's going to happen after is there was a rumbling in the ground, and they're trying to figure out clues as to what's going on the island. That's causing like these rumbling earthquake kind of stuff. When we break apart here, the game will want me to get 6 clues as to what's going on. However, what's handy is that I'm stuck in place right here. I can't move. But what's handy is that I can get at least 3 of them while just standing right here, which are this sign. There is a spade that is in between Bramble and Beffica here, and then there's footprints over here. If you position yourself very carefully, there's actually footprints also directly behind Gramble's head here that you can sometimes grab based on how you enter the cutscene. I just happen to enter it a little too far to the left, so I can't really grab it, but it's not a big deal because we have to go over there anyway, so it doesn't really lose us any time. But sometimes you can grab it just a little bit early.
Good idea. Buddy, do you think you can scope
So now that we're gonna be free here, we're gonna grab that one. We're gonna grab that one and that one. So we actually have all the clues we need already.
You found.
Now, unfortunately, with this party, it front loads the action. So like everything that we were gonna do for this party is now already done, and now we have another like 2 or 3 minute cutscene. So if we have any more donations or any other plugs we want to do, now is a great time. Newt?
Oh, we certainly do.
Oh, they're
We
rolling
had
in.
yeah, we had a $50 donation come in from Community Hater who says, "Yay, CozyThon! What do you call a magical dog?
Oh, that is
A labracadabrador."
Aw.
Shoutouts to the hen house.
Is there anything more cozy than petting a dog right know. That would be, that's very
Right.
cozy.
With that, that
What's more
actually
likely,
met
dear,
the
is that
mindfulness
you
hot
watch far
bath
too many
incentive
movies.
for Calico.
least my theory
So
has scientific
if you
data
all are
behind it,
meeting
but
our
you haven't even drawn
incentives
one chart.
so
I
much
was
more
top of
quickly
the
than we
charts,
could have
thank
ever
you.
imagined, so
Whoa, whoa,
thank
whoa,
you
whoa,
so
whoa.
much
You know
for
what?
that.
Let's split the difference, huh?
You could say we're
You both
speedrunning them incentives, huh?
What does it even matter?
Absolutely.
Whatever it is, it wants us dead.
Between this and
So
the Earth
after this area,
Snacksburg's
we
become
have one
entirely
more
unlivable.
kind of batch of
but I regret
getting some
coming down
grumpuses to
from the
return.
mountain.
So there are 12
and
total
Snorpy were
grumpuses,
a
right?
lot
And if
safer
you count,
before
we got
we
1,
came
2,
back.
3, 4, 5,
goes
6,
for me and
7,
my
8, and
little
9. So there's 3 more we need to grab. That to return to that island before we get to like kind of our in-game sequence. These last, they are Floofty, who we already met back at Simmering Springs. They are the one. They were purple and they had the glasses. And then there's also Shelda and then Eggabell, who we haven't met
Face it,
as well.
Filbo. Without Lizbert, all we have is you.
Shelda can be a little bit trolly as a split because
I don't know why Lizbert put me in charge.
there's a lot that can
I
go
do know
wrong in
this.
terms of RNG and just
really
location
happy
of certain
after a
bugs that can waste a lot of time. So it's probably the most volatile split. Sometimes I have to like reload the save just because of the pattern that we get. This will make a little bit more sense when we get there because there's one particular challenge that we have to do for Shelda that's a little bit like extensive and a little bit RNG based. So we'll get there a little bit after this party ends, which it's wrapping up here. And then we head on over to Floofty, which doesn't have like any long extended sequences, but has a lot of RNG as to whether or not it can go fast or not. So we're gonna hope we get some good cycles here and not get too trolled by some particularly aggressive Bugsnax. So we got some RNG moments coming up here that make the run a little bit more exciting, in my opinion.
And once we do, we'll throw a big welcome back party. How does that
All right,
sound?
and this is getting ready to wrap up.
Okay.
Great. Now let's go get some sleep.
Great. And like I said, we're not going to run directly into them. We're actually going to walk kind of around them to avoid that cutscene and then hop into Scorch Gorge here. Now, the areas that Shelda and Floofty are in areas that branch off of other areas. So we're going to walk through Scorch Gorge, but we're not going to do anything here. And then we're going to head from Scorch Gorge into Sizzling Sands, which is like an even more of a deserty area. So we'll get to see that. It's kind of an extension of this area. And then if you go to the front of this bridge here, you'll have to talk to Chandlo in a small dialogue, which we're just gonna skip it by hopping to the side of it. All right, here we go. And now we're in Sizzling Sands. So what's cool about this is that we can actually do all the challenges before we talk to Shelda, who's all the way over there in the distance. So we're gonna do everything we need to and then go talk to her and then just mass turn in these quests. So first, one of the things we need to do is break apart some Picantuses. So you can see they're on fire. I'm going to basically be launching them into the water. So that first one is already being launched in the water. We also need to break these egglers. So I'm going to throw the eggler into the fire here, as you can see. I'm going to wait for it to pop because it can often troll my little thing here. Come on, Picantus, charge me. Charge me. There we go. And I actually light myself on fire there on purpose a lot of times, just so that I can get a little bit more speed. Come on. Come on. There we go. And launch him into there. I'm going to use my snack grappler there to grab that. We can use some extra sauce, and then once I get close to this egg, if I could grab it, thank you. All right. Fortunately, didn't get good launching. Cool. So I was able to use the Picantus there, so that did save a little bit of time. It doesn't always work out that way, because the Picantus doesn't always follow us, but it did work out a little bit, which is good. Oop, nope, got too close. So let's wait a second. Now we have to escort this black Raspy through like this labyrinth of sorts, but there's also these Enchiritos that love to give us trouble. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some sauce for them, so that they get trapped on the rocks while we just kind of walk through here. And once we get to this rock pattern with the Strabby, with the Raspy rather, we're pretty much safe. but they can really troll you. That's the kind of RNG element that I was talking about. Oh, he's gonna run into the bush. That's fine. Sometimes if I move a little bit too quickly, he'll run into the bush there, but that's not a problem. We can just have him keep going. Keep going. Same thing there. If he gets too close to the destruction of the wall there, then there we go. Perfect. Then he can hide again. But those are minimal RNG compared to being trolled by those Enchiritos. They can really give us a hard time. All right, so now we're gonna basically turn in all of our Shelda quests.
Consider first. I yet to snack for.
Nope. There we go. For some reason, sometimes that Black Raspberry quest takes a while to trigger. I don't really know why. But it finally triggered. So we got everything done there. The last egg broke apart. I actually shot it with some hot sauce on our way down as we were jumping down. And then basically what happened is that Buffalocus, which is that flying chicken, for lack of a better term, crashed into it while we weren't looking. And that's how that last egg hatched. And there's actually a secret passageway that goes from the Scorch Gorge into the next area we need to be in, which is Boiling Bay. So we're gonna we need to get this noodler, which is basically just a nope, come back over here. There we go. A giant pot of ramen, I guess you could say. And we want them to run into each other because the noodler is on fire. Again, the popsicles are cold. You know, the interaction of the two makes it so that they're both in a position that we can catch them. Now we're gonna throw our tripwire here and hope that we don't get bopped by anything that's gonna ruin our life here. We're gonna throw that coconut on the fire. Oops, you hit my trap. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the binopper. There we go. I was paying attention to that because the trap is really what we can get trolled on the most. I only need one of you. So I don't want you both here. That's the problem. Okay, come here. I just need one of you. There we go. I had to space them apart a little bit because if they're both in your trap at once, for some reason, it will not let you catch two of those at once. So I had to get it into a position where I can only catch one. But that went fine. Like there wasn't really anything of note. No, whoops, that's the wrong one. There we go.
Unbelievable. Excellent.
Great. And then basically we're just gonna do a bunch of quests here. Turning Floofty's limbs into various Bugsnax. And then that's all we need to do for our friend Floofty here. Oops. All right, so here we go. That's my dog barking in the background.
Can you eat this meat? And now, I want.
All right, there we go.
I have.
And Floofty is done, while also looking ridiculous, which we love. All right, and then the last thing we need to do in Boiling Bay, so we finished up our Floofty quest, but there's actually another little clue here, which we need for the end game. We're gonna grab that. And then we're gonna wait for the checkpoint and reload the save so that we can hop back into our secret passageway that we were in before. And then just walk backwards. Now what we're gonna do, so we've had basically all of the Grumpuses return to Snacksburg. We've gotten 11 out of the 12, so we're really close. But one thing we need to do before the end is we need to get our friend Eggabell. Eggabell is right near this mysterious door, just a little bit of an early spoiler, that we need to unlock. And there are a lot of clues that we can gather from the residents of Snacksburg by interviewing them. We don't have to interview them all, we only have to interview a few of them. So we're going to be interviewing a very select few to get the very specific clues that we need to progress the story. So the Grumpuses that we're going to interview are Wambus, as I alluded to before, and then we're going to do Gramble, and then Snorpy, and then Triffany, in that order. and they're going to give us all the clues that we need to progress the basically the last part leading into the end game. All the mystery surrounding the door, basically. So like it's now we're going to trigger this cutscene.
Yep.
Oh, that.
Man.
So that way Ambus is just right next to us, as opposed to us having to walk all the way over to his farm. And the interviews, we just all that comes to Speed Tech here is just answering the questions in the fastest possible order. We have a lot of extra dialogue options that we don't need to hit. Let's see, what did I miss here? What did I miss here? Okay, there we go. I was very that was very confusing because I did everything in order, but somehow I must have missed one of the options. I think what happened is I scrolled so fast that I thought I hit an option that I didn't. That's fine. Just waste a few extra seconds there. All right, so now we're gonna talk to Gramble for another interview.
I heard without leave.
All right.
Sometimes I panic. Here, I don't know.
All right, and then we get another clue that we need, which is a key. So that's 2 of the 4 interviews down that we need. We're gonna go talk to our friend Snorpy here.
Snorping. So I'm not put you. I'm never a. Oh, I'm no. You still with a. Oh, you.
Snorpy's interview is actually the easiest to do because it has the least amount of options to hit, which is nice.
I could see.
You can just hold down for basically the whole end of it to get your scrolling done fast. And that's Snorpy done. And we have one last interview, which is with Triffany, like I said. When we're walking over to Triffany, we're actually gonna be very careful to kind of hug towards the right side of the wall here and look away, because there is a cutscene that we could trigger with Cromdo and Befka, which we don't need to, and just wastes a lot of time.
I heard or it's a mad.
And this is the last interview we have to do here.
You know, especially not to be.
And basically using all of the pieces that we got from the other Grumpuses and the clues that we've gotten in the overworld, we can now unlock this diary, which gives us the last clue that we need. And then now we can actually head on over to the last area, which is called Frosted Peak. And I say last area, it's actually not the last area, but it's the last like open world explorable area. So we head into the Sugar Pine Woods, which we were at before, and then we actually just head towards the back. You're meant to just take a very long path around, but you can actually just jump on some snow piles here to make it a little bit faster for us.
Wow. And now
Triffy.
And we head into Frosted Peak. And we're basically going to go immediately talk to Agabel, but we're going to do a couple of things directly on the way. So we're going to first use our snack grappler. We're going to grab some peanut butter, which is very important. And we're going to aggravate this Mount Sodi so it comes towards us. And then we're going to catch it, which it'll be important for later, trust me. And then we're going to go talk to Agabel.
No, we have another. Just go in.
All right, excellent. So now Agabel has to make this long walk over to the door. And it takes a while. We have to wait for her to get there regardless. So we're going to do some things that we need to do while we're waiting. Which are grab this cookie. Chippy, rather. This one's a chippy. It's like the cookie, but different. And then there's actually a Flutter Jam, which is a flying peanut butter and jelly sandwich over here. We're going to shoot with some peanut butter, which bogs down its wings, and we're going to catch it there. And then we're going to just fall from here. As you can see, Agabel is still walking, so we did that fast enough that we have some time to spare, which is very good.
Okay, well, there's some. I've almost.
And what Agabel wants us to do now is that there are these little like totems that we need to put some Bugsnax in, and she's gonna do half and we need to do half. It doesn't matter which half that we do, but we grabbed 3 Bugsnax while we were waiting, and those are the fastest 3 to grab. And so basically we entered 3 of the 6 totems that we need to do to unlock this door, and she grabbed the other 3. So we don't even have to go anywhere, which is great. But she needs Filbo's help. We need a third person to help unlock this door. So we need to run back to Filbo, which is all the way back in Snacksburg. So we got to do some traversing here. I was able to use the that checkpoint exploit to get out of Frosted Peak fast, but like I said, the checkpoint exploit only works from the door that you entered. So if I tried to reload the checkpoint as soon as I entered Sugar Pine Woods here, it would just reload me at the same spot, not at the front door. I wish it would. I wish there was like a fast travel of sorts, but I think they're working on that. There are some patch notes that are coming up later on down the line that make it seem like they might add fast traveling as an option, which would be really great. From a speedrun perspective, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now we got a little bit of a walking simulator. I can't move any faster than this, and my tools don't help me move faster. However, we're gonna hug some corners just to make this ever so slightly faster, so we don't have to be trailing behind these two slow pokes. If we have any like quick donations or anything like that, we got like a 30 seconds or so here maybe.
So why do you want my help? I thought you would have asked Chandler.
None currently. I just want to remind people about the incentives that are still open. Right now we have Isle of You Showrunners Hamsters, which is an amazing incentive, sitting at $15 out of 50 currently. So get that met.
I have personally seen that incentive at another marathon, and trust me when I say it's something that you want. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but you want to see it. You want to see it. It's wonderful.
This is it.
And that run is also really great. I'm very excited for that one.
2.
So the game leads you to think here that, oh, we're gonna get through the door, but there's something wrong with the code that we unlocked, and Eggabell's gonna have to take some time to figure that out. In the meantime, we're gonna end up going to our last party here after this little cutscene.
No.
Eggabell, yes.
You know, because the last thing I want to do before the world might end is, have a nice party, doomsday party, if you will.
And then thank you.
All right, wait for the checkpoint so we can walk ever so slightly faster. Voila, and back down we go. All right, and then we need to walk towards Snacksburg again to trigger the last party, which is actually the game's point of no return. It actually is going to give us a little warning screen saying like, hey, make sure you've done everything you want to do before the game ends here, because you won't be able to go back. Obviously, it doesn't matter for us. We're not playing casually, but the last party is my favorite because there's the most to do. We basically, what is going to end up happening is we need to get everybody to dance, and they all have like different conditions that make them dance. So it's pretty fun. We get to do some nice movement here. So first, we're going to turn this boombox to a particular channel. Then we're gonna grab a cup and we're gonna just throw it over here for later, and then we're gonna grab a second cup and we're gonna hold it. No, I wasn't even close that time. So as you're transitioning into a cutscene, if you're holding an object, it will automatically throw it for you. What I was attempting to do was aim it at the orb that's directly above Shelda's head. And if it had done so, it would have opened the orb into confetti, which is what Shelda wants to start dancing. So it wastes like a couple extra seconds for me having to go pick up the cup and then just rethrow it. But other than that, it's not a big deal. Where did my cup go? I genuinely do not see it. I'm just gonna grab another one. So what I usually do there is I use the same cup that I just threw and grab it, and then I because Wambus wants some liquid courage here to be able to dance, I grab it and then I head on over to Wambus there. But I genuinely could not find where that cup went, so I just grabbed another one instead. And then Wiggle also wants some liquid courage there. Gramble was afraid to dance because Gramble and Wambus don't really get along that well, but Wambus apologized, so after getting some drink in him, so that's very nice. And then we're gonna talk to Triffany, who doesn't see the merits of dancing. Floofty is very similar. They're both very like scientific minds, so they want to, they need a reason, and basically they talk to each other to, talk about how, ancient, Mesopotamians danced or something like that. I forget exactly what the wording is. So they kind of convince each other to dance. And then the last thing is Chandlo and Snorpy are feeling a little sad because Chandlo thinks that's Snorpy thinks that Chandler doesn't know how he feels about him, but Chandler just says, "No, I love you. We're in a great relationship," and they just, you know, they're confirmed that way, which is great. So we got everybody dancing, having a good time there.
We did it,
And then
buddy.
now we just have
We're all
a kind of
together
extended cutscene, a little like
Well,
three minutes and change until we get into the in-game sequence
You know
here.
what? Knowing Agabella's out there gives me
What's
hope
very
that
interesting
Lisbon's out
about
there,
this,
too.
so like after this last party's cutscene kind of ends,
I know you have to
we're
go
going to
down
be,
for
like I
job
mentioned, going to the
eventually.
in-game sequence, which is going through that
Sure
giant
miss you if
door
you
into
left.
like our doomsday scenario.
You still need to interview
And what's
Lisbon,
interesting
right?
about that
So,
is that once we're through that door, the run is exactly the same as it is from an any percent run. So the any percent run, which I talked about at the top of the run, is very short. It's a little less than 17 minutes on console. So basically everything that we do leading up to this point can be done in about 5 minutes with a lot of skips in any percent. Which I think is very, very interesting. But then the run is exactly the same after, which is pretty interesting because we have not been able to crack through any skips in like what we call the Gauntlet or the area right before the Gauntlet, which we'll see here in a second, called the Undersnacks. However, the developers of the game, when they were talking in a Devs React video to a speedrun, they mentioned that there is something in the Undersnacks area that us speedrunners have yet to find that would be able to another skip to be able to speed it up even further. So far, what we've been able to detect is that the entire Undersnacks area, if we're able to somehow clip through the ground, there is it's a loading plane entirely underneath and surrounding the Undersnacks area. So if we're somehow able to clip through the wall or the ground, we would be able to skip a significant cutscene that we don't need to do. But we have yet to find a way to do it. We've found some creative ways to like climb up higher than we're meant to, or get kind of out of bounds, but not enough to like hit a loading zone plane or anything like that. So that's one of the last mysteries that we're trying to crack. In terms of the speedrun. And speaking of crack, we have Eggabell here. By the way, do you see why they call her Eggabell? I think it's pretty obvious.
Surprise. Welcome back, Dr. Batanugget.
Though I was pointing out on stream yesterday that a lot of them are vaguely egg-shaped. Like Filbo kind of looks like an egg. Gramble kind of looks like an egg if he wasn't wearing any clothes. The tall ones are a little bit too lanky. But, you know, Cromdo here kind of looks like an egg. But there's only one Eggabell, so that's her.
Sorry to see it, but
But yeah,
no
other than
really
that,
the best
if we have any other donations or incentives that we want to plug or anything like that, now is a good time. It'll probably be one of the last points before the end.
Awesome. I do have something to plug. So since you all have been absolutely tearing up our incentives, we did add the Mail Mole incentive to play the secret demo level, which we set at $100. So hopefully you can get that. The game isn't until tomorrow, so hopefully we'll see some donations coming towards that.
Oh yeah, Mail Mole is such a cool game too. I've been watching it a little bit lately. I know Rillabell's running it, and I've seen some other runners run it too. Really cool game. Really cool game. I'm very interested in it. So you definitely do not want to miss that incentive. So get those donations in for sure.
Exactly. And I do have one other thing to mention. So I'm aware that we're going to be ahead of estimate a little bit. So it sounds like we will let you show off any percent.
Nice. Okay,
That would
excellent.
be really cool. And in addition to that, during the next intermission before our next game, we will be having on a representative from Lead to talk more about the organization.
Wow.
And what we're raising money for. So look forward to that.
No more concerns? Great.
That is excellent.
Let's get
Wow.
to it then.
We are lucky. That's very, very cool. Awesome. Well, that's good to know. So so obviously we did the no major skips run here that we're working on. So there wasn't a lot of like glitches and skips and stuff that we did, but I'll be happy to get to show y'all some of the fun skips that we do to accomplish any percent here, which is very fun.
Hey, Eggabell.
Okay, so we can actually just leave Eggabell and Filbo in the dust as we walk back up into Frosted Peak. That we don't need to wait for them, luckily. But once we get into Frosted Peak here again, we're having another little bit of a walking simulator here just for a few seconds as we slow walk again to the door. It does not let us move any faster. But once we are on past the door, it's basically go time.
Still.
As I mentioned before, we're kind of going to be in a doomsday sequence, and we're going to be entering what we call at the end the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is it's a series of like mini tasks. There's about 6 different tasks that we do in the Gauntlet, and each of them involves one of the tools that we've been using throughout the run, but slightly augmented in a way. And that is because we're not going to be worried about catching Bugsnax anymore. We're going to be more looking at protecting ourselves from the Bugsnax because they're going to be more in an attack formation. However, before that, we had a donation earlier from Young Tombfish who mentioned Pobody's Nerfix. Here we go. Everyone listen up here for a second.
Megafig can still make mistakes.
Well, Pobody's Nerfix.
There it is. Classic Filbo.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
We're coming, Liz.
All right, and then we're gonna finally unlock this door and make our way into the Undersnacks. Voila. So from this point forward, the run is the same as any percent. So when I do show off any percent, I'll probably just show off all the like cool skips and stuff that we do, but we don't need to walk all the way through all of this again because it's literally exactly the same. But we'll get to show off a lot of the cool skips that we can do here, which is gonna be very, very fun, very exciting. That is Snack Squatch, by the way, which is like an amalgamation of a bunch of different Bugsnax. And then, yeah, we're in the Undersnacks, which is kind of like the belly of the island. I don't exactly know what this... I'm going to call this juice. I don't think it's blood or anything, because Bugsnax are made out of food. So I'm going to assume it's juice, but I don't really know exactly what it is. And the walls are obviously surrounded with food. We take a very particular pathing here. If you actually go off the path and into that side, hallway that we had seen briefly, you actually get caught by the... Snack Squatch there, and then you have to go back to the beginning and try again, so we don't need to do that. And this is Lizbert.
You came. Bugs, I almost lost.
And Lizbert, if you remember, is the person that we've been looking for since the beginning.
I made them into me. It's their pet. That's right. I just want...
Oops. I messed up this interview. I accidentally did one option way too early, but that's fine. We just wasted a couple extra seconds. Not a big deal. Yeah, so Lizbert has been missing this whole time, and that is because she has become the queen of Bugsnax. And, it's very cozy. This game is very cozy and very cute and stuff like that, but it has a slightly darker twist than you would expect, which, is basically that these Bugsnax are not so innocent. They're more parasitic than anything. And Lizbert, as becoming the queen of Bugsnax here, has been helping to keep the island under control, but she has basically lost control now. They've grown beyond her. So Eggabell sacrifices herself to help maintain control for an extra few minutes so that we can escape the island safely, which is very nice of both of them, if you ask me. The reason why she chooses to sacrifice herself, by the way, is that Lizbert and Eggabell are a couple as well. They're very close, so she didn't want to be without Lizbert anyway, so very romantic. We're gonna scale some rock there so we don't have to walk all the way around, saves us some time. And then we're actually going to walk all the way back to Snacksburg, which is basically where all of the Gauntlet takes place. If we can do this well, we're going to do some swifty parkour movement, some treetop parkour. It saves like a second or two over dropping all the way down and then just climbing the bridge up, so it's more swaggy than anything, but it's still worth doing. And here we are in the Gauntlets coming up here. So as you can see in a second here, there's an exploding volcano in the distance, and Snacksburg is being, Bugsnax are attacking us here.
Don't worry, splendid.
And we're gonna be taking them on, and like I mentioned, a series, 6 of different mini challenges, basically. The first one here is, so Snorpy gave us our snack trap, but it's not exactly a snack trap. It's actually more of like a slap chop. So we're gonna throw it down here. So instead of catching Bugsnax, ooh, that was really fast. Usually I do not get all 6 on that second second shot, so that's actually pretty fast that I did that. What I usually do is while I'm waiting for the last one to fall into the trap, I'll start jumping down here, just preemptively, so we can get closer to the second challenge. But yeah, basically we were able to do that really quickly, which is nice. Now we got our snack grappler, which is less of a grappler and more of a boxing glove now, which is pretty fun. We're basically just gonna box some Bugsnax out here. Great, and then now the Picantuses, if we were careful here, yeah, that was actually pretty good. What we aim to do is we actually jump behind the Picantuses here because we want to launch the Picantuses directly into Shelda and Floofty there as much as possible, because they can tank pretty much, they can eat pretty much the whole thing, which saves us a lot of time. If you like just hit them willy-nilly into the air or hit them backwards, or actually what we're doing is hitting them backwards. If you hit them forwards, it wastes a lot of time because then they'll just break apart into pieces and you have to hit each individual piece and things like that. It becomes a hassle, which we don't want to deal with. So that's why we hit them directly into each other. This next game with Chandlo and Snorpy uses the tripwire. And this is the most boring of all the games because there's really nothing you can do to mess this up. Even if I miss all of the tripwires here, they run on a spawning cycle, so they will still spawn at the same time regardless of whether or not the previous line has been taken care of or not. The only thing you can do to lose time here is on the very last line if you miss them, which is going to be a line of Charmallows that comes up after this. If I had somehow missed the hitting them, then it would waste some time, but you know, we're just not going to, so easy as that. And then while we're waiting for those Charmallows, I'm going to try and wedge myself into some geometry here. Great. And the reason why I do that is because we're immediately closer to the next challenge. If I wasn't able to wedge myself, it'd actually shoot me a lot closer to Chandlo and Snorpy, and then I'd have to walk back. But since we were able to do that, we were a lot closer. Now barrels, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to throw some barrels at some Bugsnax. I'm just going to do some focus time here, so bear with me. It's very precise in timing, which is why I'm focusing a little bit here.
Another one.
Darn.
Here, take this.
That always happens too. I wish I could find a way to avoid that happening. That's too far back, I think. Yeah.
Another one for you.
Yeah, got a little bit trolled by this, unfortunately, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Jeez.
There you go. Here, take this.
Not fast. So we can do that a lot faster. Unfortunately, I just got a little bit trolled there. We're basically, what we do to optimize that section is that we hope that to place the barrel in a way that it kills the whole wave of Bugsnax at once, besides the last one, which has too many to kill all at once, so we have to do that in 2 shots. But if we're very precise with where we place the barrel, when they explode, they will kill all of the Bugsnax in the line. But I wasn't quite precise enough. It's very, very finicky as well, so it's very tough to do consistently. But we wasted some time there, but nothing to worry about really. This next one, obviously, you can see our buggy ball has some spikes on it, so we're just using it to roll over some Bugsnax here. The spawns are the same every time, so I know exactly where they're going to spawn each time. So that's how I know where to preemptively place the ball. Oops. There you go. These ones are the only ones that don't spawn with like an animation for some reason. They just spawn out of nowhere. I don't know why that happens. And then we just have a couple more waves here. And this is the last one. Did I hit it? Yeah, okay. Wasn't sure if I hit it. Very good. And then the last of the challenges here, which is to sling some sauce. What we're gonna do is they're gonna be slinging some special sauce, which is actually a different sauce than we have used in the game at all. And I'm guessing it's something about this special sauce that makes it so when Bugsnax charge, they charge a little extra hard at each other when they're, you know, shot with the sauce. So instead of just stunning each other, they just kind of like poof out of existence. So we're gonna shoot some special sauce, and luckily as well, the spawns are the same every time here, so I know exactly where they're gonna spawn and where to place the sauce in the most like optimal pattern. I'm gonna wait for these two to hit each other here. There we go. And then that should be it. Voila. Very good. So we're actually approaching the end of the run here. All we got to do is run up to the ship, and then we'll have a little bit of a cutscene here.
Okay.
Where we're getting chased by some particularly large Bugsnax, which we don't get to see in this run. But if you ever see on a 100% run or an all Bugsnax run, you'll get to see these giant mythical Bugsnax in action. Very cool stuff. And like I said, there's Liz, Bert, and Eggabell who sacrificed themselves to help us get off the island in our flying airship, which is very nice of them. And then the only thing we're gonna have to do now is we're gonna land on a beach where everybody is, and then when you're playing casually, you can like talk to everybody and see like the retrospective, and kind of feel, you know, see how they're feeling about everything. Obviously, we don't need to do that in a speedrun. That was actually still a pretty good gauntlet. I can't complain. All right, so here we are on the beach after this. There we go. Then we're just gonna run right to Filbo. And don't forget, we were a journalist and we were here to do some investigating.
Hey, buddy.
Which is the whole reason why we came to the Snacktooth Island to begin with.
I know. I can't go. I get great.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump over here to trigger the last cutscene, which is actually with our boss, which we haven't seen yet because we skipped the beginning cutscene. And she fires us basically because there's a conspiracy going on, and that is how the end of the game goes. But luckily, we'll probably seemingly have a Bugsnax 2 and time, by the way. Sorry, I should have gave you more warning. That's time. I was caught up in my own Bugsnax action. But yeah, that's the no major skips run. Done pretty quickly there. We get to the credits here. But like we mentioned here, is we're going to get to do a little bit of an any percent showcase. Like I said, I'm not going to do the full run because we don't need to see the gauntlet and under snacks sections again, but I'm going to show off some of the skips that we do that make it a little bit easier for us to progress the story a little bit faster. So let me go ahead and delete my credit spot here, and then I'm going to start a new save file. So we're going to have a little bit of a cutscene here. And I'm just going to show off to you some of the skips that we do. So the start of the run is going to look very familiar. We're going to still have some treetop parkour action. And then it's going to go awry very quickly. We will get to, if Bunger is one of your favorites, like it is one of my favorites, we are going to get to see some more Bunger. So that's always very fun. All right, oops, I missed that jump there, which is fine. There's a quick little backup that we'll do. Oops, I don't get wedged in between there. There we go. And then, yeah, as you can see here, we're just walking on an invisible barrier here to get to these treetops. All right, and then we're gonna jump over here just like we did in our no major skips run, but we're not gonna talk to Filbo at all this time. We're gonna scale up here, similar to what we did at the end of the run, jump over here, scale these rocks on the side, and then we're just going to hop in this loading zone right away. So we skip that whole section where we have to assist Filbo and do everything like that, and we're right back in here. Luckily, the game is like, for some reason you should have the snack trap right now, and you don't, so it gives us the snack trap there.
Without, well, it's
No.
Now, like I mentioned at the top of the run, there's nothing we could do to expedite this process any farther. Recently, we have found a very fast new way to get a frieder, which I'm going to hopefully show off here now, but it's a little bit difficult to do. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do it. The reason why I didn't do it in the no major skips run is just a little bit safer to not do it. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab ketchup, throw ketchup over here. And we're only going to grab a couple of ketchup. Same thing, though, into the tree, onto the shishka bug. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my snack trap. I'm going to place it very precisely here. I'm going to stand on top of it. And basically what I just did there is I shoved my trap through the floor so that I was able to grab the frieder through the ceiling. So that's a quick way. I didn't go for it in the run because it's very precise, like I said. If I had missed it, then I would have missed some very key cycles. Which I didn't want to do in a marathon setting. We missed that shishka bug there. That's fine. So let me rest the story here a little bit.
well, let's start.
But doing that quick frieder skip is legal to do in the I say legal like it would be against the law ever, but you are able to do it in the no major skips run as well. It's just safer in a marathon setting to not do it. That's why I did it. But now I'm glad I got to at least show it off, and actually went really well, so that's awesome. So let me turn in the shishka bugs here. Oh, you know what? We're gonna have a little extra cutscene for you because I hopped away by accident.
You can scoop them right up with this net.
Yep. So basically, the reason why we get so close to Wambus there is so we don't have to see this cutscene. But since I hopped away from Wambus by accident, we got to see that little cutscene instead. Oh well, we get to see a little bit extra of the game. All right, so now we're gonna hop across. Same thing. We're gonna go through the menuing with Beffica like we did before, just really quick, and then we're gonna do the biggest skips of the game afterwards here. All right, so we're gonna hop through this menu here. So what we're gonna do once we're back in the Snacksburg, instead of like going through the areas like normal, we're going to get into areas early.
Wait
And we can actually accomplish this in a few different ways. I'm gonna showcase a few different ways here for you.
See, I have. You'll have.
Let's get this over with, buddy.
Oh, there's no split there. I split on my splits just habitually there. All right, so we're in Snacksburg. There's Filbo here. We're gonna still have to do the Filbo interview. And what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to get into Sugar Pine Woods early. And like I said, we're going to do this a couple different ways. I'm going to try and show you the harder way first. The harder way is very precise, and then I'll show you the easier way after. So what we're going to do after the interview is we're going to attempt to jump over a river and menu in a very specific way so that... oops, I was already on the second one. Oops, there we go.
Well...
So that the game kind of lags out for a second and is unable to process what it's meant to do with us, and then it lets us cross the river. And that'll make more sense here in a second. If I'm not able to get it, I'll just show you the easy way. It's very, very difficult to get. So this is the harder way. So we're gonna kind of come up here. Not quite, almost had it. That was very close. That was also very close. We'll try it like one or two more times, then if not, I'll just do the easier but slightly longer way. But basically, by opening up our journal there in a very specific time and then also jumping at the same time, we'll be able to land across the river appropriately. One more time, and then I'll just do it the easier way. It's very, very precise. So I don't usually go for it in runs. I usually take the easier way, which is just ever so slightly slower, which is to go over here, jump on this fence, if I could jump on it, and then we're gonna jump across on this roof, and then we're gonna jump across. So now we cross the river, and then to get up here we just jump on some rocks, just like that. So now we're in Sugar Pine Woods way earlier than we need to be. So that skips, you know, at least easily like 30 minutes or so of the run alone. But we're not done yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop up here, and we're actually going to get into Frosted Peak early. And you can actually do this two different ways as well. I'm going to do the easier way first and the harder way. Which is, this is the easier way, which is to just jump on some geometry. And then basically what we'd do is we'd walk through here and then over to the other side. I want to show this off a little bit first as well. We can just kind of walk on nothing over here and fall in. You know, we're just sitting on top of the world over nothing, and then we'll just slide back down. So that's one way to do it, and then that's the easier way, and again, slightly slower way. And then I'll do it the faster way, but harder way, which is to come on this side. Precisely jump, almost had it. So that we get on top of that rock. Almost, come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Not quite. One more time. Come on, there we go. There we go. So now we're on top of this rock here, and we just very carefully jump on over here, and then now we can fall into this loading zone, which puts us at Frosted Peak early. And the game is really confused at this point. It's like, how are you here early? And it actually gives us all the tools that we need. So it gives us all the tools in the game already, which is very handy. There's also a super jump that you can use the launch pad here for, which I'm going to try and do. Not quite. You see, I'll try one more time. If you're able to do it, actually moves you quite a bit faster. Yeah, there we go. It launches you forward like that. So that's a cool thing to do. And so basically, we're not going to talk to Eggabell at all. We're going to come on over here to the door, and we don't need no stinking codes, is what I've always said. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw the launch pad here. We're going to aim it up here so we land on like this little lip of the doorway. Then we're going to use our tripwire, throw it there, and place it very precisely here, and then jump and wedge ourselves between the door and the tripwire. And we clip immediately through the door. And then voila, we're in the Undersnacks, and then the game is exactly the same from that point forward. We just walk through the Undersnacks, do the gauntlet again, and then the run's over. But basically, yeah, that's what we do in any percent. So I'm not going to walk through and do the gauntlet and stuff all over again. You don't need to see that again, but I wanted to be able to show off all these cool glitches and skips that we were able to do. So I appreciate CozyThon allowing me to do that for you and showcase a little bit more of the game.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you enjoyed these. Thank you to CozyThon for allowing me to be a part of this very fun and cozy marathon. I'm still loving life over here in my robe. Appreciate you all having me. Thank you to the staff and the crew, you know, behind the scenes who's making everything work the way it should. Continue getting those donations in. And if you like Bugsnax or other fun, nifty speedruns, you can check me out at twitch.tv/conception2. And I'll be over there to hang out with y'all. But other than that, that's all the plugs I have.
Excellent, thank you.
Of course.
Let them through.